title defenders, I mean what we call them now, Liverpool,
Title
because they're the
pretenders.
people that we played against. And even though Sobos like tried huff and puff, but I heard that Isak is injured again. I didn't even notice. I didn't notice
Don't know
Waits.
Salah.
Right? I didn't notice Waits. Salah is on the bench. Who knows where he's going to
So
go
Salah
to
is
next
injured.
season?
Ekitike is
He was on
injured.
the bench today now.
No, he's not.
Um,
Injured, but he was just on the sideline.
whatever his face looked very sad. Um, so I'll start with you, DJ Pablo. I mean, I would rather be where United are now than where Liverpool are, crying after having spent 500 million or billion pounds
Nice
basically
one.
in the
A
summer,
nice one.
right? So what is Slot supposed to? How are we supposed to judge Arne Slot and what Liverpool are up to? Because by the standards of that you are setting in this conversation, they should have sacked Slot too. Because at this return on investment is
It's not
it's not
returning.
looking good. Yeah, it's not returning.
So
Return next season.
on this point, I'm with you 110%. I would
Okay.
banter Liverpool any day, anytime because we won them. All right. Now I'll tell you this from the beginning because the truth is, and it's Slot rode on the vibes of Jurgen Klopp. He rode on Jurgen Klopp's drive. The last, that 15 that reserve tank. You know the reserve tank you have when you're driving a car. That was what Arne Slot came and met at Liverpool and just rode on it. Salah was still, it was not dipping per se. It was still like on the downward trajectory, and then Slot just took advantage, rode with the wave, and then used Jurgen Klopp's style of play to actually get them to win the trophy last season. But this season, they've literally struggled. They've struggled a whole lot to actually even like get wins. When you look at their stats on the table, I mean, look at a team like Liverpool has 11 losses in 35 games. That is like 2 times the number of losses they had last season, right? 11 losses and 7 draws. And let's not count the Champions League losses as well and the cup losses. If you count that, that's almost going to like 16, 17 losses in a whole season. That is absolutely horrendous for a Liverpool team that is actually defending the title. And you spent so much on players. You got 2 strikers, you got like midfielders, and you didn't even try to back up what you had, especially with a dipping Van Dijk. Konate is actually the one trying to play for Van Dijk. That's what we can actually see. You can see it. It happened a lot today when Man United played the ball over them, and that was the advantage. In fact, when I was doing my match preview, I was saying take advantage of the long ball over them, because the truth is Van Dijk won't defend running back, but Konate would, and that's why Konate was getting so many tackles, right? So they didn't take advantage of replacing a dipping Van Dijk. They have squad, but no squad depth, right? And you spent so much signing players and didn't even sign a player to build a structure around. And then when he now started to kind of bring in his own style of play, it became pretty obvious that it was not applicable. And that's another Dutch manager failing in England, right? So for Liverpool, I'll banter them any day, anytime, because the truth is they huffed and puffed. They've been huffing and puffing all season, right? And then to watch their fans cry is actually a joy to me, right? And to have done it back to back against them is a joy to me. But when we look at like the grand scheme of things, that was not a structured approach to the transfer window. It was a scattergun approach, and I'll tell you why. They got Ekitike because Newcastle were interested in replacing Isak with Ekitike, and then they got Isak in the end, who revolted against his employers at Newcastle. So you have 2 players already in one position. Okay, quite all right. We call it squad depth, and then you got a Florian Wirtz. Didn't even give him time to grow in the league, because from German league to England is a huge transition, and he didn't even we're already counting 0 goals, 0 assists, like a 7 to 10 games and all of that. So that was also an issue. And then you didn't bed him in quickly, and then by the time you realize we're already going to find the season, then you started bringing players like Rio and Gomorrah and Co to kind of like fill in the gaps. So Boslai being deployed at right back was a fail. This guy, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't work as a right back, but that's like taking away his talent, making him to become less potent. And then you saw what he did in attack, right? And then the same thing, you signed Frimpong. Frimpong struggled with injuries, can't even hold a right back spot, if you know what I mean. So it's like a whole lot for Arne Slot to now implement his
Mm.
style of play. It's not working in the Premier League. So I'll sack them
Jude,
anytime.
sack or keep? Is you on fraud watch, or we've already gotten our answer?
Oh, he's a fraud. He's been a fraud since time. Before Jude answers, he's been a fraud since time.
It's the hag happening to Liverpool. That's what.
Are you serious?
I don't know. There's a risk now. Liverpool has to look at. He's trying to impose his style of football, right? You have to keep it simple, and at the same time, you need to remove some old woods, which is going to struggle because I don't think Liverpool will want to back him again as much as they backed him last season. So they actually need a centre back. There's plans that Konate may leave if that happens. So for me, I think if they keep him, it's looking like we're entering the era where it's Manchester United, Arsenal, City, and maybe somebody else. I don't know if Chelsea will keep up, but it's looking like that era is about to begin. And Liverpool may struggle if they keep him. If they keep him, they'll probably be struggling between 6 and 7 and 8. That's where they might find themselves now. So they need to either back him well again, which is unlikely, or
Which kind of backing is this now, Jude?
they have
How
to
much?
because they need to replace Van Dijk. Salah is leaving. They need to replace Van Dijk. Their left back is not yet up to distance, so they still need legs. So if they can't, they probably find themselves struggling again. That's what I feel. So by the verdict, I think they'll sack him. They'll just let him go.
But I'm hearing that they're going to keep him though.
Then they want to
he's staying in the job.
Yeah, I'm hearing they want to keep him.
For Slot is that the mistake Liverpool made is that when you've not seen money, right? And they just give you lots of money, you don't know what to do with it. That's what happened to Liverpool this summer. They just went, like TJ Pablo said, they went on a scattergun approach. Why are you getting Isak and Iketike and you're losing
it was a backup.
I think Liverpool fans are beginning to see the importance of Diaz had last season. They never replaced Diaz. Like, I'm sure if they go back, they would have signed both Iketike and Isak. They would probably have signed Isak only and left Iketike. And they used that money they spent and got the Diaz replacement because what Diaz gives you is not only just attack, but it also gives you the work rate. Like part of the reason, to me, I think part of the reasons why that left back Herkes is struggling is because of the left hand side.
Nobody's on the left.
Diaz, I think he would have performed better because remember he was the left back of last season.
Yep,
so it's not as if Keke was coming from another league, he's coming from Premiership. So I think that's what they had. So I think this summer Slot is on fourth ward. I think he has up to December. I think they're going to back him because they have to replace Salah. They probably have to get the Diaz replacement as well. And Eketike is out for like a year. So they probably have to replace him as well again. So I think they have to get a defender.
I actually don't think they should replace him because now if you're replacing him, then
they have to because Eketike is going
but you have Isak. Isak is going to come back earlier than Eketike.
Yeah, but you can't play Isak every game now because he has to rest as well.
That's what I'm saying. Well, you can probably find one of your smaller guys coming in and use that.
Definitely, they'll promote Rio, but I still think they have to get a Diaz replacement. They have to
Diaz replacement is important.
And they definitely have to get the back. So you're looking at three signings right there. But I still think he's still going to be sacked next season because I think there's a crowd hovering around him already. And most times when the manager has crowd hovering around him, he ends up getting sacked. So I think it's just a matter of time with him. I think I see him like probably December next year or this year rather. He'll probably be sad because I think Liverpool are going to struggle next season. They are going to struggle because I don't really think the players. He had a fight with Salah this season. He took Gerrard to like defuse the whole situation. Though Salah is leaving, but they're already cracks. And I think I'm very sure Vets is not happy in Liverpool right now because he doesn't play like somebody that's happy. I'm very sure Slobasa is also not happy playing playing as a right back because his talent to me is wasted being playing as a right back. So definitely that has to be addressed. So to me, he has to December. I think Alonso is probably going to take over. It's just when. But I understand why they don't want to sack him because to me, I think the aim is that since he couldn't win the league, get us Champions League, and he has done that. So I think it would be unfair for them to sack him. But I think
mean,
he could end up there.
I also think it's riding on the winning the league last season.
Yeah, that as well too.
Because you have people like Jamie Carragher coming out to say, based on that, he can't criticize the manager who had just won you the league. Liverpool don't just sack managers and stuff. So you can see that. I mean, Liverpool fans want him gone. That's the fact.
A lot of them.
They don't enjoy his style of play. They think Gakpo is his son and all of those things. So
he gave Gakpo and so Diaz.
Yeah, so I don't know. And Gakpo and it's not bad to have Gakpo and Diaz at the same
yeah.
Right? And then you didn't need an Eketike. You probably need either of Eketike or Isak. Then you have a Gakpo and Diaz. Then you can play Gakpo as your backup to the 9 on the left. And then you can slowly bed in Rio because you can find a way. They have no replacement for Salah. Salah never had a backup, right? Frimpong playing as a right winger is actually not. It's because they signed Frimpong as a result of he's the hottest prospect, but Frimpong is a flying fullback. Never plays as a right back. He plays as a wing back, right? So he's successful in the back three, and then you now bring him here and play him as an attacker. I mean, yeah, quite all right. He's very good, but the Premier League shows you reality. If you come from wherever you're coming from, Germany, Premier League always shows you reality. So I think, yeah, like you said, Arne Slot might be sacked by December, but I don't want him to be sacked.